Our last question comes from Dr. Epright, and she asked, given that when the DSM was rewritten in 2013, personality disorders were no longer distinguished from any other form of mental disorder, why have the courts not responded to this by eliminating the prohibition against permitting personality disorders to be raised as a defense in criminal cases? So, just as a background, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, the DSM, which is what mental health professionals use to diagnose people with mental illnesses, used to be broken into axes to denote the need for certain mental illnesses to be researched further, to make sure that they received more attention in clinical settings, etc., etc. However, this is very confusing because it made it seem like some disorders, like personality disorders, were inherently different than other types of disorders, which is obviously not the case. And so when it was rewritten in 2013, they changed the classification so that personality disorders do not seem isolated from other mental illness. In addition, research shows that people with severe personality disorders and people with psychosis have similar cognitive functioning. And so it would seem that if you're going to raise people with psychosis as a defense, then there should be similar ability to raise personality disorders as a defense. I think the reason that they haven't switched over is, one, because people with personality disorders typically don't believe that they have a problem. They don't think they have a mental illness. And another reason is that many people believe that the symptoms for personality disorders seem more like a character flaw. So, for example, the extreme emotionality of borderline personality disorder, or the extreme self-importance of narcissistic personality disorder, or the lack of empathy and antisocial personality disorder, just seem like a character flaw or a negative personality trait when compared to delusions and hallucinations in bipolar 1, manic episode, or schizophrenia. I think it's also the courts don't want to change their policies. There's just a lot of stigma around personality disorders, mental illness in general, and it would require a lot of training. And we know that it would just be really ill-received if it was ever actually required. So I just don't see it happening. It also just means that there would have to be a dramatic shift in how cases are tried, and just a huge revolution in the way that we describe insanity. And I don't think people want to go through that.